What's up, friends? Welcome to the podcast that won't make you dinner, but it sure may make you hungry for it.
I'll order you dinner.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry, how was that intro? Was that good?
Good.
I have a question for you. I have a couple questions for you. Here's my first one, though, because this is really bothering me. Who has the right of way? The people coming into the... Who is the right of way? The people coming into the subway turnstile or the people going out of the subway turnstile?
I believe it has to do, it's a very complicated matrix. Is the train, are the doors open? Are there people pouring out of the train? Are there people pouring in? I think it's, you can't say during rush hour, it may be one way. During rush hour in the other direction, it may be other.
I feel like it's always people coming in because they're trying to catch the train.
I think that's wrong. I think you're wrong.
You think it's the people leaving the train?
Because sometimes you have to clear the thing in front of the train. What's it called?
Thing in front of the train to clear the door?
The platform.
Oh.
People need to clear the platform at Essex
All right.
Delancey.
I just watched people
There's
getting
more
into an
room
altercation.
outside, and then there's less space inside. You need to get some of those people out sometimes. I feel like there should be traffic cops in there,
directing the idiots that don't know where to walk, that get off the train and just stop, and then they do this.
Right. Just let's keep moving.
Or it's like the people who stop at the very top of the platform,
of the stairs, and check their phone.
And I'm just like, keep it moving.
And in Japan, they have signs everywhere that say, "Don't do that."
Yep. In Japan,
don't stop there. Don't stop there.
They have
looking
arrows
at don't
on
look
the
at that.
floor
Don't.
telling
Keep it moving.
you which way to walk.
I know.
It's so brilliant.
It's a civilized country.
It's civilized. My God.
Which is just mayhem on the subway.
It is. They even have all female train cars there, which I also
because
really
sometimes
love.
you're like, I mean, how many times I've been groped on the subway.
Yeah.
And it shouldn't be. And maybe I would prefer to be in a female only.
Sometimes I would prefer to not be groped. Maybe sometimes I mean
most of the time. Yeah. Sometimes maybe.
It's been a dry. I'm in a dry spell, but I still don't want to be groped.
But you don't want to be random. I mean, maybe.
Could be hot, but it's most likely not going to be hot.
Probably not hot.
Let's get to our guest, shall we? All right. So today on the Pimp Put It in My Mouth podcast, we're joined by a woman who has fed her lens to more celebrity chefs than most of us can count. She's the brilliant mind behind the iconic series of My Last Supper, where the world's greatest chefs tell us what they'd eat before they croak. Casual. She photographs everyone, rock stars, actors, politicians, from Bourdain to Taylor Swift. She's got taste, she's got edge, and probably has the best dinner party stories of anyone we've ever met.
Probably.
Let's welcome boss Melanie Dunea. Hello, lady.
What an intro.
Dude,
she does them good, right?
So honored to have you. We met 4.5 years ago, 5 years ago-ish. And as soon as I started this, I knew that you had to be one. And, finally, we're now in the 30 group of 30. And here you are.
Honored. Thank you.
Welcome.
Thank you. And
thank you for making the time.
I would also get subway etiquette.
Okay, wait. Do you have an opinion on that?
Yeah.
I think that, I don't know. I mean, it's a tough one. I would say that it's the people going in. But, that doesn't irritate me. What irritates me is people that jump.
Oh.
Because you know what? It's $2.50, and that's our civic duty. So pay.
There you go.
And they're going to put some spikes, and they're going to do, in Paris,
pigeon
boom,
spikes.
boom. And it's
For humans.
Dude, I mean, please. That's not going to stop people.
Okay. All right. I mean, everyone's got their subway something.
That's all right.
If you don't take your fucking backpack off, it makes me livid. There are signs. Take your fucking backpack. See it.
Yeah, she's really upset. She's really upset.
You're gonna get, as a little person, you get bumped.
Yes,
you get
that's
backpack.
true. That's
backpack.
True. But,
bumped.
Yeah.
I haven't. I mean, knock on wood, which.
I don't see any.
I have not been groped in America. In Paris, it's a pastime. But
Okay.
I did just hear the other day, my bag sometimes is open and I wear it across. And I felt something and I turned around and this very well-dressed guy, his hand was in my purse.
Ooh, that's
And
violating
so
too.
I
That's
said-
happened to me.
I screamed so loud. And he was like, and then so he stepped off the train. So that's how they do it. He's
Right.
ready to be
There's
off.
an exit plan.
And so I jumped off and I was like, he didn't get the wallet, but I also was like, cop, I was like, You mess with the
Did they get him?
wrong person.
Did they get him?
Because they, the description could have fit many.
And did no one else on the subway car like see? You know what I mean? Like I've been tapped and like close your bag. Someone's trying
yes.
to get.
Oh
you.
yeah, I
It
always
was
think
too
it's so
fast.
nice when people say that to me. Your bag's open.
You're
You
like,
know?
Oh, thanks. Yeah.
It was
Yeah.
too fast. It's always too fast.
Too fast.
And also, like, I'm on my phone,
Yeah.
which I shouldn't be. So
We're yeah, those things.
yes.
Well, I'm glad you didn't get your wallet.
Yes. Me
Or
too.
grope
Me
you.
too. Me
Right.
too.
I'm glad you didn't get groped. Let's take it back. Okay, you're from Chicago.
I am, but I have one more subway question.
Okay, yeah.
What do you think about people eating on the subway?
Okay, I don't love it, but I am sometimes guilty of it because my life is so chaotic sometimes and I'm rushing around from one appointment to the next. But if I'm eating on the subway, it's going to be like something subway friendly, like a bar, a protein bar, or like
Not like a
It's
dinner.
not
Like
not
rice-
like a whole like
rice.
hungry man platter of like steak and mashed potatoes or something. What about you guys?
I grew up in DC, and there is no eat, and people will look at you and say you're not supposed to eat on the subway, ma'am.
Totally.
So, and the subway's very clean.
Very, very pristine.
Or the metro.
Yes. Well, I am from Chicago, so on the
Do you eat on the L?
You don't. Anything goes. But I remember when I moved to New York, I was like, ugh, I would never ever eat because people were having like.
And
sausage
now?
Right.
Yeah.
Fast forward.
We're moving fast. We're grabbing food. A bar.
Wait, we've all seen the Instagram videos of like elaborate like Thanksgiving
dinner,
dinners
yeah.
and stuff on the
fun.
train.
That looks
That
really
looks kind of fun.
I want that to happen.
That
Let's
looks
do
fun.
that.
That is fun. But I am from Chicago. I was there until I went away to high school. I went to DC actually. And then I came here the long way. From DC, I went to Paris, and I thought I was going to be Henrietta Cartier-Bresson, which is a femalization of a famous French photojournalist called Henri Cartier-Bresson. I
Okay.
mean, beret and all, but not as cute as Emily in Paris.
I mean, but
know?
you're super cute. We have to give props to your shoes and your jumpsuit.
So, well, thank you.
Yeah.
What's a famous Cartier-Bresson image? Because maybe I just know him.
It
Yeah.
would be like somebody walking with a baguette in Paris, or it would be somebody on the Seine, or a picnic.
Something
Something that you
iconically
want to
very
be part
Paris.
of, like I think really, I
So you were
probably
gonna
wanted
run
to
around
be in
and
the scene.
capture-
Yes.
So wait, does that mean that you knew that you wanted to be a photographer like way,
Yes.
way, way back
Yes.
when?
Yes.
How did that start? When did you know? How old were you?
Well, I didn't know per se, but I always wanted to be a writer. So my mother had an independent bookstore in downtown Chicago. And I guess the heroes in my parents' eyes were always writers. So my grandfather was the political editor of the Des Moines Register, which sounds like nothing except remember the caucuses. So
Right.
everybody would pass through Iowa to be, seen and celebrated. So my grandfather kind of directed politics in a way because he put it in the paper. And when I was little, I would go and follow him around because he would work all the time. And he would give me a one of those yellow legal pads and say, here's Huckleberry Finn. Here's a legal pad. Copy it. And I was
Wow.
like, oh. Like, not only is it
That's not
hot as
what
fuck
that's
in
not what I
Iowa,
was expecting at the end of the sentence.
no, it was like, and I grew up with no TV, so he had a TV, so I was like, man, so I'd watch TV. Then there were like 3 channels, and I would be like copying Huckleberry Finn, and then he said you have to learn how to take pictures too, because no one's gonna pay somebody. He was old, no one's gonna pay someone to do both. So when I went to high school at 13 or whatever, I started taking pictures, and then I was just better at that. But
Wow.
sometimes I do both, but I always feel sort of ashamed in front of a writer. I'm like, sometimes I
dabble.
yeah, I dabble. Yes, I know a gerund, but that's about it.
Okay.
So you started taking photographs at a young age and you're
Yes.
just like, I'm good at this.
Yes.
I like this. I want to do this.
Well, I don't know about good. Like I found a paper recently from college, and I didn't do well in he wrote something, the teacher, something to the effect of, get another career.
Oh
Yeah.
shit.
Yeah.
You're like,
Yeah.
what do you think now?
Yeah. And I went to work during college. I had jobs, obviously. And one of them was to work with a photographer, and she photographed kids. And I was like, so not into that. I mean, I didn't get, that's hard. You got to wrangle them. You've got to like.
Worse than animals, I would think.
Totally. Because at least with a dog, you put some peanut butter on the face and they lick the face. This was hard. And I remember one day I said, oh, there's a collection of photographers. Could I go and see if I could work with him a little bit? And she was furious. So I went to the guy and I was like, can I work here? And he was so tough on me. I mean, I don't, I'm not a Barry's boot camp. Like, don't yell at me. I push myself.
That's
I yell
not
enough.
the way that you get motivated. Yeah.
And I don't. And he wasn't very encouraging either. And actually, I was in an awards thing. Let's fast forward 20 years. And I won and he did it. And I was kind of like, yeah, girl.
Damn.
Remember me?
Okay, so you photograph celebrities, rock stars, politicians, and like every famous chef. How did it get to be that your work is so chef-centric?
Well, I started as a photojournalist, as I said, which is really just capturing stuff on the street or going to a protest or something that's like on the fly with the camera. When I left my first year in Paris, realizing that I couldn't survive, I looked young and I couldn't keep up with the slang. Like, I just couldn't keep up. So I moved back to New York because I had read that Madonna had her sex book party at this photo studio.
Okay.
I'm kind of making the story shorter. But anyway, I ended up in New York after college, went to this photo studio, which is on Washington in the Meatpacking District, and said, can I work here? Because I need to learn lighting. I need to learn, I want to do portraits. I want people to know I'm photographing them. I don't want it to be a surprise, snap, snap, you're crying at a funeral or whatever.
Yeah.
So I went to the photo studio and they said, no, we're not hiring. And I said, oh, no. I
didn't have a backup plan.
What's your name? And she said, Melanie. And I said, that's my name too. I'm hired, right? So I got hired.
Oh, then they just changed their mind?
Like, okay, I feel bad now.
And I slaved. I got Madonna her Long Island iced tea. It's true, Naomi Campbell had Big Macs. And I learned the trade of, I learned both how to do portraits because the photo shoots would happen during the day and we would clean up at night. So I would look at how Stephen Meisel would light, or I would look at what they were doing. Like Richard Avedon, who I ended up assisting as well. He had a little place where he would put his books out on a coffee table. And I was like, oh, that's a good idea. And, I kind of aggregated all this information. And to this day, people will recognize me. And I know it's because I got them coffee or snaked the toilet. They think it's because I look familiar.
Right.
And I do
No
look
shit.
familiar to people always, but definitely. And I'm like, oh, girl, you do not know me from being fabulous. You know me from snaking your toilet after you took a shit.
I mean, you got to start somewhere, but
Sorry, I'm over
started
here dying.
at the right where, it sounds like.
Yeah, it was great. And it also taught me I'm not too good for any job. So even today, I will, if somebody comes in and they're like, I need a Band-Aid. If there isn't someone else to get it, I'll get it. And I think that's very important because it shows you a chance to actually exchange with people on a human level, as opposed to being like, welcome to the photo shoot, which is intimidating. And
my assistant's assistant.
Right.
Yeah.
Number
go
two.
get
will
a
get
Band-Aid.
You yeah.
So
You're a woman of the people, right?
That's right.
Yeah, she'll
That's
snake
right.
your
I'm a
toilet.
Capricorn.
Yeah, she's a Capricorn.
Will you make us dinner?
No. But I started celebrities, and then I started to photograph chefs. And well, actually, that's not true. I was hired by New York Magazine to do a fall preview, and there were two chefs in the magazine. It was like a comedian, and I was kind of on that track, that traditional Annie Leibovitz, celebrity portrait photographer.
Yeah.
And I had done these portraits, and then Ruth Reichel, who ran Gourmet Magazine, called me and said, would you do this insert we have, which is pretty cool. It was inside the magazine. It was an advertorial, so it was paid for, and it looked like baseball cards, and it was a portrait of the chef, and then on the flip side, it'd be like 5'5", like uses pepper, you know, and it was like their
Like a
stats.
dating app
Really
profile.
cute.
It was stats, you know? So she asked me to do that. And I was like, okay, what's the brief? Because then again, in those days, like everybody told you exactly what to do. You know, I want to have her standing on the corner in Chinatown.
Right.
So I did whatever I wanted. And I ended up putting a big like piece of kohlrabi cabbage on Mario Batali's head, and they ended up putting it on the cover. And it was one of the first times a person had been on the cover of a food magazine.
Wow. And that was you because
That
of
was
your
me.
creative brain.
So that was the beginning. And then I was sort of in this division between, whoa, this chef thing is something.
Mm-hmm.
And the celebrities would come with like all these publicists. And I was like, I'm into this. And then I started to photograph Tony Bourdain.
Oh,
I
we'll
shot
get
him-
there. We're going to have a whole conversation about that.
Well, I shot him for Men's Journal, just a Men's Journal. He came in like a Hawaiian shirt, and he kept asking me to photograph him. And as I was seeing the chef world, I was like, this is what I'm talking about.
I mean, you have photographed everyone. I mean, I can't even Marcus Samuelson, Martha Stewart, Ina Garten, Jonathan Waxman, Dominique Crenn, Marco Pierre White. Who have you not who have you not photographed?
I've never photographed Rene Redzepi.
Oh, of
Mhm.
Noma fame.
I would like to photograph him.
Okay, who
There
else
are
have
a
you
lot
never
of people.
photographed that you would
Gabrielle
like to?
Camara from Mexico
Oh,
City.
she seems so lovely.
Yes, I've never photographed
Contramar.
her.
We love your restaurant.
Mm.
You should have your picture taken.
Yeah.
Virtue, what's his name from Chicago? Eric Williams. I'd love to photograph him. And then, you know, the world has changed. I mean, there used to just be this huge chef celebrity
Pedestal.
Yes. And now there's so many people that I've never, Nina Compton, you know, like, not that she's on the top of her game, but like
Out of New
just
Orleans,
people that are,
yes.
yeah, people that are doing,
And chefs are more known to the greater populace now.
Yes.
Like we all
Because now
know
it's hip and cool.
everyone
There's TV shows about it.
Right. Like
and Instagram.
Yeah.
I mean, now the world has changed, my photography world. And I mean, now a chef releases their product on their
You-
Instagram
you
and does
look
their
at it
thing.
first on
So
the internet.
when My Last Supper 1 came out, there was no Eater, there was no Instagram.
Well, let's talk about that. So how did this, okay, so My Last Supper, you now have 2 books in the series,
Yes,
correct?
Yes.
So it's a book where you interview chefs what their last meal on earth is. How did this idea come about? It's such a beautiful, amazing book, by the way.
Thank you. Thank
Yes.
you. Well, I was in a bookstore, and because that is my happy place. And I found that there were no books that it wasn't a collection of chefs. There would be, you know, Ina Garten has her books and blah, blah, blah. And I thought, oh, it'd be interesting to put them all together. What if I just posed a pretty basic question? And, you know, to me, my Last Supper is about the ultimate. It's not about death. It's about
Just, the pinnacle.
the pinnacle,
Yes.
the ultimate. So I thought, I'm just going to think of like 6 questions, which are, what is your last supper? What would you eat? What would you drink? Who would be there? Who would clean up? And what music would you listen
Who
to?
would clean up? I love that one.
And
Well, you would clean up.
at my, yeah, it sounds like it. Been cleaning up ever since. And I was, at my first wedding in India, Tony Bourdain was there. And I said, hey man, like I want to do this. I have this idea. I just want to call it like My Last Supper. And he said, that's a really good idea. I'll write the foreword.
Oh my God.
And I was like,
It's a
okay, whatever.
bestseller.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't.
Yeah.
I mean, I was like, okay.
Sure.
Like,
And what year was this?
well, it was 20. I'm very bad with time. So it was
What is
18
time?
years ago.
Okay.
And so
I don't do math. I was a theater major.
19 maybe because of when I actually started it. And I was like, okay, whatever. Like, it's not about
Jeez,
you. It's my
relax.
book. And so I didn't realize that would help.
Oh.
No, I
Yeah,
totally
I
didn't.
mean,
I was like, oh, and he was like, hey, what's up? You know, so he took me around. We went to Prune to meet Gabrielle Hamilton. He really wanted me
Who's
to meet
also
her.
such an amazing writer.
Yes.
Her book,
Yes.
I mean, changed everything.
And they used to have paper tablecloths. And somewhere in my archives, I have Tony really helped me. He made a like a sort of a little genealogy chart of chefs for me on the tablecloth. And I only remember one part of it, and it was like, you have to have Ferran Adria from Spain, from El
El
Bulli.
Bulli, yes.
But, pay attention to this guy, Jose Andres. Because he's, right now he's like Ferran's bitch, but he will end up being something.
Oh, and who's that guy?
Well, I mean, I guess we're talking about Tony Bourdain. Let's keep it going.
Yeah.
Because I met you and I purchased this beautiful photograph, a print of this iconic photo. I mean, okay, so there's the iconic photo of the like ham bone. He's naked and he has like the bone or the cat bone in front of his junk. I mean, that image, like what the fuck? Whose idea was that?
Mine.
Google that image. People listening. Yours. Yeah. You're like, hey, Tony, get naked. Let's put this bone in front of your bone.
Well, I tried to draw inspiration from their answers. And sometimes it was super hard. Like, I mean, I didn't even have Jamie Oliver would only do the interview right before the shoot. So I was like, what am I going to do?
And you like sneak attacked him out, like he came out of the car and you like had it flagged.
I know, I took him for a coffee.
Oh, okay. And then you sneak attacked him.
And I was like, look, I got this huge Union Jack. Are you cool to stand in front of that? If not, we'll figure it out. And he's like, I got, that's fine. But with Tony, his Last Supper was actually a bone marrow, amongst other things. And so I couldn't think of what to do. And so I thought, I'm going to go to Autumnelli's on Bleecker Street and buy a bone. And I checked with him. He knew what was coming. And then he was like, totally. So he came to the photo studio. I was ready to go. He took off his clothes, put the bone. We did the shoot. But, I did, the bone was really a great image at the time. It was, we were both in that place at that time, meaning like he had a cigarette.
Yeah, he's like the bad boy of the chef world. Sure.
Make a splash, but make a statement.
Yeah, like, and he like, if you look, this was before retouching. So if you look at his legs there, you can see the sock indentation on his leg. Like it was really just a raw moment. He had a couple of shots of tequila because I took him next door first to Tortilla Flats.
Okay, amazing.
And he wrote about that in the introduction. He said, maybe it wasn't wise to do that after a couple of shots of tequila, but really he's joking because that was totally approved and accepted. That being said,
part of the myth, right?
Yeah, but that being said, that picture started to sort of haunt us. And I wrote a really honest account of the story for Vanity Fair, which I highly recommend reading because, that picture, everywhere he went, people would be like, can you sign this? Can you sign this?
Dude, I mean, yes.
And we did maybe 10 more photo shoots in between. We did covers of books, medium raw. We did, I was
going to say, you shot the cover of his book, the portrait.
A lot of other work.
But that's the one that sticks out.
That's the one that sticks out. But before he passed, I was at his house, and on his wall was a really iconic picture of him and his daughter. And that was the only photograph hanging in his bedroom. And, the piece that I wrote about is how, like, we change, right? You change what you did once, you won't do again.
I'm different from who I was this morning.
That's right. So that picture, though I know it'll go down in the sort of people, if I say to somebody I'm a photographer, they're like, yeah. And if I'm like, I took the picture, then they're like, oh, so it will follow me and I'm proud of it and happy about it. But our work did evolve. And I think that picture started to annoy him.
I'm sure.
Yeah.
Wow. What a guy, though. The way that he was so supportive of you early on seems amazing. Was he as lovely and cool as everybody wants him to be?
Well, I mean, I wouldn't use the word lovely. I would use like supportive and kind. And, he has a whole cadre of people. They all did jiu-jitsu. Like CNN was a change once he got on that. And there are so many other people that can speak to him from then on that I didn't, I wasn't part of, but he and his wife and, Ottavia, like they were lovely and he's lovely. And I guess direct, And I'm saying lovely and then I'm saying not lovely. Edit that
I
out.
get it.
I guess what I mean is, he wasn't gonna.
He didn't suffer any fools?
No.
Okay.
Yeah.
But I don't either. So
So
there
that
we
works
go.
out.
Yes.
All right, so you've got like 5 books. How many books? 5?
I've done 5 books, and I just came out with a new one.
Let's talk about it.
Well, so it's actually
AMUSE Bouche. Look
book.
at this.
Um,
Can we get the yeah, hi. Like can't zoom in, but and then we have a woman wearing an octopus necklace, basically.
Red onion.
Tell us about this
spectacles.
book.
well, so I'm calling it a book because
Okay, in
actually,
quotations. Oh
yes.
my God. Look at the
The olive underwear.
Can we just talk about these shrimp nails? Like, I don't
Hell
know
yeah.
if you can see this, but this woman has shrimp nails. Okay.
So this was a project that I have done myself. So I'm calling it a book because it's actually designed like a menu.
Mhm.
This
A
is so
combination
cool.
Feels like a menu.
between-
And gorgeous.
It's supposed to. So it's meant to make you sort of think twice. And I really wanted to, I love the intersection of food and photography.
so
So I've done My Last Supper, which was chefs and photography. I did a series called Don't Play With Your Food that was all still life photography with people, like food and, a little more abstract. And this time I wanted to look at fashion and photography. And so I did this shoot. I sort of looked for food I thought would be fun. I did work with a tailor and obviously a stylist. Like the olives don't just stick together like that.
Right. Yeah, you have to figure out some
In
logistical things.
In the first Last Supper, there was a hat made of pasta.
Yes. So I mean, the theme it's not out of the blue.
Right.
Yeah.
But I published this myself, which maybe 20 years ago people might have looked down on. I've been like, oh, self-published. But I really didn't want to compromise at all. I worked with an amazing designer, Catherine Castellino. So this is, if you open it up, it's Swiss bound, which is like a big deal.
It feels beautiful. These
It's-
images are they're already, I can tell they're going to be iconic. They're going to be legendary. They're so creative and they're just
Thank
so
you.
And it
cool
does
to
feel
look
like you're at a really nice restaurant where you don't want to get your dirty fingers on the page.
Yeah.
I also did painting. I did all the paintings in there, which was a lot of fun because why not?
Why not?
I just, there are only 250 of each cover. And actually, that's a friend. Half of it is friends and half of it
I'm
is
gonna have you
models.
sign this.
And, it was like really, it was very freeing because people are so stuck in, well, are you a photographer? Are you a fashion person?
Why do
Are
people
you
always
a-"
want to box people in?
Yeah.
You're
so
like, I contain multitudes. I do a
exactly.
million things.
Totally.
Let me
I
live.
just wanted to like blur the lines and just be like, I wanted people to be like, what is this?
It is. Just look at it and hold it.
I mean, now I
Smell
want
it.
an octopus necklace. So thank you for that image. It's gorgeous.
One thing that's interesting about it is that people have been asking me if it's AI.
Oh, really?
Oh, no shit. Like,
What a world we live in.
Chat
huh?
GPT, give me an octopus
Uh-huh,
necklace.
uh-huh.
Okay, I want a man and he's wearing underwear,
Yeah.
but the underwear is made olives.
Right.
And I feel like it's actually probably for me in my career, probably the last time that I will even have the tools to do it, like just really just do it.
Before
I
it shifts to that?
I feel,
Yeah.
I mean, I started out shooting film. My darkroom was down the street.
Yeah.
I used to develop my own film. Then there's digital. Now, I mean, you're a fool if you're not using
Chat the tools
GPT or whatever
better.
it's called. I'm asking it questions
Right.
like whatever. But
yeah, the world is changing quickly.
so for me, it does
Very
feel like
quickly.
it's a sort of a chapter, a bookmark, or a new chapter of I would never do it. I mean, I like to take pictures and develop them, but silly me.
So what do you think? Do you have any? I mean, I'm sure you have a bazillion of them, but do you have any weird stories about any particularly weird or odd shoots that you were on?
Oh, girl, all of them.
Okay, what
Buckle
about
up.
the one where you threw up in the meat locker?
Oh yeah,
I
yeah.
mean, that's just
I mean,
that's
who
unfortunate.
hasn't?
But that shot
yeah.
again.
Yeah, Paul Liebrandt was such a good
So
sport.
Paul
Yes,
Liebrandt,
yes.
Tell my mother who he is,
Yeah.
and then about that shot in the photo shoot.
So Paul Liebrand is a British chef who came, I don't know when he came over, but he's had a lot of really good restaurants. He was over working with where Montrachet was when it became the new place. The name escapes me. He was at Atlas on Central Park South. I think that was the first restaurant. Then he did something where you were in the dark. I mean, he's experimental. He had a phase where he was doing gold leaf and this and that. So I don't remember exactly what his Last Supper is, but we ended up in a meat processing place in
Where there are
New Jersey.
carcasses just hanging
Yes.
floor to ceiling.
Yeah.
Nice.
Well,
And you're suited up because there's probably blood everywhere, right?
Well,
First they're alive,
Right.
Because we're not quite at
First
lab
they're
created
alive.
meat.
Okay.
And I actually, I thought that we would do so the cows come in, they're all, then they get that something attaches to their ankle and it whips them up, and then they kill them, and then they end up. That was the end result where they end up the carcasses, and it's pretty brutal to watch. Even though this is a clean, very respected place.
The cycle,
It's
or
just-
circle of life.
Yeah, it's just a little wow. And so I had been there. I always like to get to a location 2 hours ahead of time at least to prepare, so that when someone walks in, the shoot feels effortless. So I had been in there for a while, and
You had already snaked the toilet.
I'd already snaked the toilet. Exactly. And when I finally Paul arrived, I said, "Well, he's like, "Oh, I'm not going in there."
Oh, God.
No way.
You're like, no, this is my whole vision.
I've been here
No,
already.
I get
hours.
it. He didn't want to be like in. So we did that shot there with him dressed in a suit to try to juxtapose. And he's
Yes.
like a little provocative, so he liked that.
It's a great photo.
Thank
Google
you.
the photo. Look it up. It's stunning. So do you have, you've shot Oprah. You've shot everyone. You've shot everyone.
Not
Do you have a
everyone.
favorite person that just stands out in your mind that is what a human?
Well, give me a genre, because I do.
Okay, celebrity.
Genre.
A genre.
like
Alex Trebek.
like what?
Celebrity. Musician. Favorite musician to shoot.
At Taylor Swift.
She's
I mean,
great.
she's
huh?
not my favorite. She is really, really great. I photographed her 4 or 5 times, I think. Again, time and numbers.
Yeah.
Don't fact check that. But the first time was at her parents' house in Tennessee, in Franklin, Tennessee, and they were just really nice. And she took me upstairs and showed me her all her diaries where she writes the songs.
Man,
and
that
Wow,
sounds
that's
really
very
nice.
personal.
Yeah.
she reminds me actually a lot of Rachel Ray, because they both have this huge humanitarian. Rachel Ray is on her 7th trip to Ukraine right now.
Wow.
I went with her last year to be a photojournalist to document her building orphanages and building out the kitchens in orphanages.
I didn't know she did that.
Yeah,
Wow.
well, that's right. So it's like Taylor, I saw, she was at a hospital today. They both are very proud of, they both have shown me, here's my recipe book, or here's my song book, and that they've doodled in and drawn. And they both are surrounded by their family, and they're all about the hospitality, and they're all about humanity.
I love to hear that, because you wonder always if it's an act, right?
Right.
Mm.
You can't be that nice.
Do you have any any beans you want to spill on worst people ever? This is a safe space.
Well, I'll tell you who.
No one
was
actually
also-
listens to this
Right.
podcast. So you can say whatever you want.
Don't be silly.
They'll never know.
No, don't be silly. You know who I also thought was quite creative and a little bananagrams to start, but he was really
Bananagrams.
creative, was Kanye West. But I remember
Controversial.
I feel like everyone feels that way about him.
Mm.
He was interesting and a little bit weird,
Of
and
course he's interesting. There's many other adjectives I
Yes.
could use to describe
Yes.
him.
he was always a little bananagram.
Yeah.
in a good way. We thought
Totally.
at first,
And now a not so
and
great
now
way.
apparently
But
not.
I remember we sat down, because again, I want to chat, even though I'm not really listening, I'm kind of observing. And he said to me, I haven't been on Saturday Night Live. I was like,
Okay.
Let me see what I can do about that.
Hang on, Lauren?
Yeah.
I didn't,
I mean, you got to
He-
just keep
he's kinda
asking people
complaining.
until you get
Yes.
put on Saturday Night Live.
Yes.
Apparently, maybe, I don't know.
And I would say that, let me think of who has been a real jerk.
Yeah, do tell. I feel like we could have a whole second episode on just like who's a big jerk with you. That'd
Maybe
be
that
really
should be
fun.
that should be a whole podcast.
Yeah, who's a big jerk?
Who's a jerk?
Who's a big
Yeah,
jerk? That
I'm
would go for
down
like
to co-host it
7
with you. Let's go.
seasons.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, anybody else come to
No,
mind?
I think sometimes, people show up and they don't know what to expect.
Wait.
And
Sorry, not to cut you off.
Yeah.
But I did read that you said David Copperfield was a big weirdo.
yeah.
Really?
Yeah. He
Okay.
was just
Continue.
really.
I'm sorry. Tangent.
No, well, good research. Well
Girl,
done.
I go deep.
He, he was odd.
Mm-hmm.
He was
I never
like-
would have thought.
Yeah. He was very odd. Like, he called me the day before and was like, hello. And I was like, hello. And he said, it's David Copperfield. And I'm like, yeah, sure. Poof, And he said, bring a ring light. And a ring light is a light from like dentists used to use. It's a shtick. It's a very even light. It's like, I would never shoot him with a ring light for New York Magazine.
But he insisted on it, correct?
He did.
And he wouldn't let you shoot him in natural
No,
light.
No. And he had the most
Did
bizarre house.
Did he have weird skin?
Very. No,
I
he
mean,
just had a
he wanted
vision.
that.
Well,
Okay.
that's crazy because that article came out recently about his
know.
completely abandoned penthouse and how he's being sued because there's water damage from his pool, and it's like it's like the way he left it in a complete
Yes.
shambles.
And it was an incredible.
Like, I wonder what
incredible
happened there.
Apartment. Like, the first floor had all these games, like the ones from Big, those like circus games.
Oh.
Then he went upstairs and it was super modern. And he had like mannequins hanging in the living room. And he had a library with first edition books. I mean,
Like,
it
what
was a really
happened in
I don't
there?
know. I don't know. But I did see him in Vegas because a kid asked me to take him. And I was so obsessed because he was wearing like a fake 6-pack.
What?
Yeah. So he was wearing like a
Wait, like he
shirt.
thought he was fooling you?
Yeah.
Oh.
The whole audience.
He thought
And he kept
it wasn't
kept,
like a shtick?
shifting.
Oh my God!
Yeah.
Come on, get a
You
better
guys-
fake
wait,
six
you
pack
guys,
then.
Is he still on
Huge.
doing it? It's
Yeah.
still, he's still David
Yes.
Copperfield.
Yeah. Car comes up. I mean, yeah. And he has hot chicks around
I
him.
mean,
Wow.
yeah.
good for him.
Yeah,
Good
totally.
for him. What a weirdo.
Totally.
All right, so you're a New Yorker, like now.
I mean, now, but
Long
I'm
time,
from
but-
Chicago.
but like, okay, well, long time. You've lived in Tribeca
Yes.
since like
Yes.
1985.
Since 1993.
1993.
Girl,
Okay,
I'm
so
not
that
old.
that information on the interwebs is incorrect.
Yes.
I will change your Wikipedia.
Thank you.
Describe your perfect New York day.
Oh, well, it involves no plans.
I love that.
Maybe a destination,
Okay.
let's say there's something on at the Met or something. I mean, yesterday I did this crazy shoot and it was this guy called Carp in the Park and he fishes carp in Central Park.
Okay.
And that
It's
was
right there on
so-
the label.
Yeah.
And
It's
Okay.
it was so like New York. I love to just get up and wander, and because we have so much information is thrown to us all the time, we're always, you're like, oh wait, there was that bakery I wanted to check out right here, or
I've passed this bakery 17 times.
Right.
And every time I pass it, I think, I wonder what this bakery is
Never
like.
stopped in.
Today, I'm going to stop and have
Yeah.
a piece of bread.
yeah. So I do often have maybe, let's say, a goal, a destination, like to go see Amy Sherrill at the Whitney, but on the way, man, it's a fucking all
you might
around.
find something.
Twists and turns
Yes,
of New York. Like,
yes.
who knows what adventure you're going to go on.
That's exactly right. Choose your own adventure.
I love that. All right, so as a Chicagoan, Chicagoan,
Yes.
I have a fuck, marry, kill for you.
Okay.
All right, we're gonna take this to food. You've got Italian beef. All right, you've got your Chicago style hot dogs, and you've got your deep dish. Who you fucking? Who you marrying? Who you killing?
Well, I'm killing the Italian beef.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right,
Okay.
it's out. Bye. You're
Um,
dead.
I'm going to marry the hot dog because, I can have it with the bun, without the bun.
Okay, sure.
It's always dragged through the garden. That's the way that they, that's a real
Is that
Chicago.
everything?
Yeah. What does
So
that mean?
It means the green relish. It
Mhm.
means
Okay.
the mushroom. And it means a little bit of some sort of sesame shaken,
Okay.
everything but the bagel. Like, I mean, I know I'm going to be canceled for saying that. It's not that, but it's some sort of spice, some sort of salt. And So I'm going to marry the hot dog and I'm going to fuck the pizza because,
You're gonna fuck that
can't-
deep dish.
yeah.
Yeah, you are.
yeah, for so many reasons.
I love it. And I hate that we only have like 15 minutes left. All right. So we're gonna talk, we're gonna get some love, but first we're gonna do our favorite segment on this podcast, which is called I don't fuck with that. All right. So this is your time to rant. I forgot my little air horn thing. Can you do an air horn? You know how to do an air horn? No, you can't? All right, I'll do one. Ba, 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 ba. That was my weak attempt to introduce the segment. I don't fuck with that. You want to go first? What hill are you dying on this week?
So I got a bunch of food that looked beautiful and smelled good and then didn't taste good.
What? Man, that pisses me off too.
Yeah. Like I was so jazzed to get the reservation, right? It's New York City. You know, like, oh shit, I got the reservation. Oh shit, I'm sitting at the table. It smells good in here. It looks good.
And then you're like, what the fuck?
It tastes like paste.
What?
Yeah.
Oh no. I need to hear what.
I mean, you eat with your eyes first and then you smell things, blah, blah, blah. And it still, by the time it got to my tongue, I was not into it.
Can you tell us, like,
no,
not like McDonald's, but like Popondles, or could you give us a hint? Like,
she's gonna tell us off camera.
I'll tell you later.
What about you?
Bummer.
It is,
especially
bummer.
Right now. It's so expensive to go out.
Right? Yes, and the bill was $200.
Yeah, I mean it is, and I understand why. I'm just saying that it's like I totally understand it, but it is that is so disappointing.
It really is disappointing.
I'm sad.
Like it
for
ruins
you.
the night.
Yeah, I get so excited to eat out, and then if it like ends up being
we got all dressed up, and
did you go with your husband?
Yeah,
date night.
Ooh.
You know what pisses me off?
What pisses you? What don't you fuck with?
Tiny water glasses and no carafe on the table.
Yep.
I'm like,
That's a
why
good
are you
one.
going to give me the smallest water
It's
glass
a shot of water
known to man? What is this? A water glass for ants? And no carafe. And I'm just going to be like, I'm trying to hydrate, and I'm just going to be bothering the staff to keep coming over and keep refilling this tiny little
Your gorgeous
water
little Spanish
shot
water glass.
My God, it pisses me off. Anyway,
well, then you can't get anyone to bring you water.
I know.
Either.
Right.
So forget about it.
Exactly.
Oh man. Well, I mean, mine is mostly about when I'm greeted at the door.
Okay.
I think that sets the whole tone. And I'm realizing it more and more just in every situation. If I walk in somewhere and the hostess is, of course, a million people are not being nice. And, you know, it's like TSA. I'm like, I'm sorry for everybody else, but that's not me. So when I've come here, you know, please.
Right. Don't hold other people's transgressions against everyone else.
You know, just be like, hi, welcome. We are running behind. We are like information, please.
Communication,
I'm cool.
yes.
I get it. The kitchen's backed up. Like during the pandemic, they're doing inside, outside. They're, you know, double stress on the kitchen. Like, sure. I'm down for all of that.
But if you smile and you look me in the face and you explain what's going on, it's going to be okay.
All transgressions will be forgotten.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think so, because I actually love to go out to relax. I'm not necessarily going for the food as much as I am to exhale, to have a drink or two, to be off duty. I don't even mind if you order. Like, whew, I don't care. Like so if the vibe is stressful, I pick that up like a sponge.
Yeah. That again is a huge bummer. I don't want to be stressed out when I'm out to dinner, worrying about my tiny little water glass, or the people at the front, or the food hovering, being terrible.
Yeah,
man, we're going to dinner tonight.
It better be.
They better give me a proper size water glass.
Good.
We're going to
They've
Ensenada.
got a lot to live up to. We have some standards.
All right. Well, so as a longtime Tribeca resident, shout out some love, or just in New York in general, like where I'm going to do a quick fire round for you and ask you some of your favorite slices and things like that. But are there any places that you just absolutely would die without, or that you're so grateful?
Well, again, it's about the vibe. Like my butt was on the chair, the first chair at Balthazar. I love Balthazar. Have
you read Keith's book?
I'm in the middle of it. I'm listening to it.
I just finished. Yeah.
So I love that place. I always feel like it's special, you know. And I mean,
have you photographed him?
Never.
Oh wow.
No. So I love that in this neighborhood. You know, that brought Frenchette and those guys.
Yeah.
I love that place.
Le Veau d'Or. Have you been?
I have.
I'm sure.
I think that's great. Chinatown is right here. So I really love Wu's Wonton.
Hell yes.
You know, it's great. Great Noodle Town.
Great New York, great noodle, great New York noodle town. Yes.
They're doing something that we don't have a lot, weirdly, of fresh food in this neighborhood. So Rigger Hills is One White Street started bringing from their farm down a lot of products on Tuesday. There's a farmer's market. It's Tribeca prices. Big time, but it is really good. And it's created a little community area where people are sitting out. And it's, because this is an industrial, I came down here to have space and to have a dark room.
Yeah.
And it was cheap. I lived with 5 people. I paid $400 a month. That was like,
What a time.
but there were like 5 people. So I came down here for the space, and it's gotten definitely more Lululemon strollery, but, and there, so I love that. And I love all Keith McNally's restaurants. I always have, even the ones that he hates, because I feel transported. I feel like I can get what I want. It's going to be yummy enough. My favorite, one of the top bites to me is the lounge at Le Bernardin, which seems so like sort of out of touch to say, but it's the warmest room. You can go in there. If you don't have a jacket, they'll give you one.
Wow.
You can sit in the lounge. You can get out of there.
We did sit in the lounge.
We did
That
sit
was
in the
so
lounge.
many years ago.
It was probably 25 years ago.
Oh my God. We're only
And
25 years old.
I
So how could
remember
that
how
be?
cold it was that day. Do you remember how cold it was?
I don't. I just remember being like, we're in Le Bernardin, but only in the lounge. We were so young. We were 5.
We're 4.5.
All right, I can't believe I've almost run out of time. This really drives me crazy because I could talk to you for hours, and I know you have so many stories. So we have to plan a part 2, like for sure.
You got it, but I also maybe answered my questions too long. Is this edited?
No.
Oh shit!
No. All right, so let's give you a quick fire.
All right,
round.
I love it.
Things that just come into your head.
Got it.
All right.
Yep.
Best New York City neighborhood for dining.
Oh boy, I know I'm overthinking. I'm not playing the game. I like my neighborhood, Tribeca.
Okay. Favorite slice.
Joe's.
Best bagel.
Where was I the other day? Oh, best bagel. I had a black seed bagel the other day that was really good. I used to love H&H. That was
The template.
the best. Yeah. I'm going to go for black seed at the moment.
Cool. Most embarrassing or chaotic food that you're eating when no one's watching.
Ramen and gum.
Any specific flavor of gum?
At the same time?
Yeah.
Ooh,
No,
ramen
I
flavored
just
gum,
eat,
you
like,
guys.
Oh my God, that's chaotic.
I eat gum like a whore. I'm like,
You eat it. She's like, I don't chew it, I eat it.
crack it. I just like the worst.
Okay.
So I only do it in my own home.
Okay. When no one's watching.
Yeah.
Do you have a favorite hype song to shoot to?
No, but I'm totally listening to All Too Well by Taylor Swift, the 10-minute version lately.
All right. Get it. Go-to cocktail.
Gin and tonic, but I sometimes have a melon sonic, which is half soda, half tonic, because it's less calories.
Okay. I love that. Best neighborhood bar. Or your neighborhood
I just
bar.
was walking by Belle Rev, which I used to love, and that's becoming condos. I like it's not a neighborhood bar, but it's something delightful about just rolling up again to the bar at Frenchette. And
I love that bar. I prefer it to the dining room, actually.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I like that a lot.
It's a great bar.
Yeah,
Where are you going when you want to splurge?
Le Bernardin, Danielle, Jean-Georges. Those fancy,
All the fancy spots.
the
Yeah.
fancy spots. But again, now it's all a splurge because
Yeah.
it's so
The
expensive
line
to
between
eat
fancy
out.
and yeah.
Yes.
You have friends in town from out of town. Where are you taking them?
That depends,
Pick a lunch spot and a dinner spot.
well, I love to do the Whitney. So there's a Frenchette bakery in the bottom.
Mhm.
I think that's really fun. I think it's fun to walk from here, stop at there's that, it's not Lucali, it's like there's a pizza place on the corner of Canal and West Broadway. Maybe
Lucia?
Lucia.
Yeah.
Go get some nomois, the pea shoot dumpling.
Okay.
The spring roll. I'm totally obsessed and should have shouted her out earlier with Crispy Heaven
Tell us about it.
Buckle up, because
Okay, tell us about it.
The quick round is taking a detour. Let's go.
No,
I know. I'm
Slow
not.
it down. I want to hear about it.
So I was a judge, and this is really should be in my introduction.
Wait, are you going to talk about Top Chef Masters?
No, I'm
because you were a judge on that too.
I was, but more importantly, I was a judge on the best baguette in New York City.
Oh, what a job!
Yes.
Somebody has to do it.
So that year, breads won. And then I was trying to hustle I was like, remember me? Like, I really want to be doing this again. It was at the French embassy, and they didn't ask me back, which has always kind of stung.
What the
But they voted Crispy Heaven. So I read about it, and I walked over there. She's now moved to kind of near where Jack's wife Freda is, Lafayette and Prince. And it's a woman from, I think she's not Ukrainian. She's from the Eastern Bloc somewhere. And it's her bakery, and it is tremendous.
Okay.
The baguettes are
Crispy
good.
Heaven.
The sandwiches are good. The food is
Add it
good.
to the list, Judith.
Yep. And
I want a
she's there.
sandwich from there right
I know.
now.
Yeah, it's good. But a sandwich is like for two,
We are in
Get
fact
some
two
for
people.
later.
Yeah.
you get one and you share it. It's excellent.
Oh, I'm so excited.
Okay, we're gonna look this up.
Yeah.
All right. Who's the bigger diva, Ina or Martha? Martha, of course. Of
We've
course.
had a lot of Martha stories this season.
We have had a lot of Martha stories. I love it. All right. What would your Last Supper be?
It always changes.
Okay, so what is it
Because
now?
I don't really want to go out. Again, back to going out. I don't want to sit in front of one thing. I'm always
Let's say you
eyeing
could
yours.
pull from anything.
I would pull a little bit of yours. I would try your steak. I would try your thing. And that's annoying for some people, but I'm
Look,
always
this is your last
this
meal.
is-
You can do
this
whatever
is-
you want.
yeah.
Go for it.
And that's why I always say to other people, like, what are you ordering? I always like to order last because I don't want to miss out on something really delicious. I would prefer to have a little bit of this, a little bit of that, a taste of the bread, a taste of the butter, like her baguette with some really good butter. The butter's good there too. Then I might have maybe one dumpling. Then I might wander over. And I feel like I'd be in a setting where these things would come and go. It's not like they would be sitting there and getting crusty and old.
So there
Oh,
isn't
right,
like
they're all
yeah. So there isn't like one
No.
chef that you'd be like, I want that person.
No.
Okay.
I would not want key lime pie. I would not want
You don't want.
lychee, however you pronounce it. Like, no, those are no-go zones. But otherwise, a taste of this, a taste of that. Like, there's so many delicious things that I always
What if
think,
you discover something new on your way out?
yeah, that's right.
There you go. What a way to go.
Yeah.
And then last question. What is the best thing lately that you have put in your mouth?
This Bordier, is that how you pronounce it? Butter? Bordier?
Yeah.
Butter?
The French, the good stuff.
Yes. That was really insane.
Where'd you have it?
And I actually had it from this bakery in Connecticut called Flour, Salt, Water. I don't think that's it. I think there were 4, but flour. How do you make bread? Flour, salt, water.
Yeast?
No, they didn't have
No.
yeast in the title. It was so delicious. It was so good. Yeah.
Okay, butter.
I mean, listen, I have to watch because I could eat bread and butter all day long.
Oh, girl.
So
Same.
If it's good and if
Yeah.
it's not cold butter.
That's
Right.
true. That is one of
Oh.
our peeves.
yeah.
Cold butter. How are you supposed to spread that
What the
shit?
fuck?
Like you can't.
Yeah.
Like don't give it to me straight out the
Yeah,
fridge.
yeah.
Temper
Fair.
it, please.
Gonna put it under my arm to warm it up.
Dear
Fair,
God.
fair.
Yeah, we've ranted about that.
Fucking
before.
stupid.
So stupid. All right, yo, how have we killed an hour that quickly?
Oh, good.
Insane.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you. Can you tell
Thank
people
you.
where to find
Thank
you, where to
you.
find your
Yes,
books, where to
yes,
follow
this
you?
is Yes.
So cool.
Shout yourself
Yes,
out.
yes. Well, follow me at Melanie Dunea. Lots of vowels. Sorry about that.
DUNEA.
And please follow me. I always do my own social media. I answer. And check out Amuse Bouche. It's a really, to me, it's a little gem. It's a piece of art. It'll not be around after I sell them because I'm on to the next thing already.
I mean, they're so cool. They're so beautiful. It's a great
Yeah,
thing
it's
to just have
already
out. It's a great conversation starter. as
Gonna
well.
be the one I have like stands where books go, and
Oh.
the books go back into the stacks and then they come out on.
Yeah.
This is going on the stand.
There you go. I love it. All right. So you are Melanie Dunea on Instagram.
Yes.
Yes.
I am.
All right, and your
I'm also
website?
My Last Supper, but that's not as interesting. My website is Melanie Dunea. I'm trying to keep on brand,
Yeah.
Melanie
Yeah,
Dunea.
super
Melanie
there.
Dunea.
Yeah.
So
Keep repeating.
Also, I want to shout out Jeremy, your old roommate, because he bought a sweatshirt.
he did.
He did. He has contributed to our merch.
Is he actually listening to the podcast?
I don't know, but thank you because this is so funded.
Rumo,
So
thank
he bought a sweatshirt, and you know what? That just helps us pay for this a little bit, which is so cool. We do have merch. You guys have seen it. I've worn it. Judith has worn it. You know, if you want to contribute, we'll give you a shout out. You could even come and hang out in the studio with us. We'll charge you for it, but you can do it.
And drink out of our glasses with our brand on.
And we always have booze in here. We've been drinking sake this episode, in case you didn't know. So yeah, I mean, look, if I ever get thrown in jail for being a little too passionate with my food or whatever, I want you to shoot my last supper.
I thought you were gonna say you were gonna call me.
I'll call you to bail me out.
Is this a story?
Was this a condition of being on this podcast that I have
out of jail.
We're going
answer
to
the
jail
Am I
tonight
your
is the
get out of jail
condition.
free.
Judith is always my emergency contact, so you know I'll just add you to it.
Okay,
yeah.
you got it.
All right, y'all.
I'm taking a turn.
Yeah. Sorry. You guys know where to find us. Hopefully, we are on all platforms at Put It In My Mouth Pod. Thanks for listening. Thanks for supporting. And yeah, until next time, go forth and put it in your mouth.
Rumo.
We're about to go put it in our mouth.
Yeah.
All right, y'all. Melanie, thank you.
Thank you.
You're a gem.
So much.
We need a part
Thank
2.
you.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Bye, y'all. Thank you.
Bye.
Oh my God, how does the
Thanks,
time
you guys.
pass so
So
quick?
fun.
So, I was telling my husband this morning.
What is I like it? What I like it?
Put It In My Mouth podcast is recorded in New York City at WTF Studios and hosted by Lala Zimski and Judith Basich. It's produced by myself, Lala Zimski, and entirely self-funded. So if you would like to support or sponsor an episode, please reach out to putitinmymouthpod@gmail.com. We would love to take your money. You can also support us on all socials across the board at Put It In My Mouth Pod. Our intro and outro segments were created by Tyler Milliron. Our theme music was composed by Javier Dunn. Our editor is Saeem Asif. Please leave a review. It means the world to us and helps us get seen. Thanks for listening.